Hi, good day. My name is Elder Jim. Actually calling. I'm actually calling. Uh, I think I had a word for perhaps uh, younger people. Sometimes it stresses out young people that you when you desire to do right and your parents don't. That would bum me out. Didn't have that necessary. Well, I can't say that. It wasn't necessarily my story in every area, but in certain areas, I guess it was. But when you as a young person desire to do right in God's sight, and then your parents, they're telling you to do wrong, and you know it's wrong. Something they've told you not to do. Now they're doing it, or they're encouraging you to do to sow you wild oats, and you don't even feel comfortable in doing certain things. And I feel like this is necessary that somebody speak to the younger people because you don't have to give in to everything, every ungodly thing. And God has put in the hearts of every man. He said, I've written in your hearts my word, my statutes. The fact that there was, and they talked about the tabernacle in the Older Testament, which went around with them. And then he said, but one of the covenants as he went into, God began to speak, and Ezekiel was a 30, I can't remember, 30, 31, I think, in 31. But he said, I'm gonna do a new thing. I'm gonna write this into your heart. And Hebrews 8 and I believe it's Hebrews 8 and 8 also says where he said, I'm gonna etch my word into your heart. You know. So there's something like a moral compass in every man, desiring after what is right. Now, what we many times do, we negotiate within our own brains and say, well, maybe not this time. Or we start looking at everyone around you and all the things that they're doing, and perhaps they're not doing right. And you know it's not right. So you begin to compromise in your own mind, thinking, well, they're doing it. But in your mind, initially, you knew that that was wrong. You didn't feel comfortable with it. And what most of us do, we look at the wrong thing and look at everybody around us and say, well, they're doing it, and how harmful can it be? Because something in there's another thing that abides in our flesh that was the very thing that caused Adam and Eve to leave the garden. Yeah. When you begin to embrace everything that feels good, hears, sounds good, or those things, or look at things and start and desiring something that belongs to another, and then we begin to rationalize how I can do this and it be right, because you already know in your heart it's not right. So, with that being in mind, with keeping that in mind, it's important that when the right thing comes up, you don't ignore it. Because most of the time, we have to choose over the right thing. Or we have to embrace all the things around us. One thing I need to hear and us understand, we become like our environment. Our environment don't become like you unless you have a mighty, mighty powerful something on the inside of you to change everything around you when you come into the presence. So you need to understand that your environment will change you. So if all the women that you hang around with are loose, expect to be loose. Okay. Young ladies, young men, if all the guys in your neighborhood and all the guys that you embrace and hang around, they're all into rap, you're gonna be rapping too. Now, on the flip side of this thing, if everyone that's around you are lovers of God, lovers of doing what is right, and you begin to make that a part of your environment, you begin to change just like the environment. If you don't, then sometimes we wonder, well, I don't want to be around these guys because even though they're around me all the time, but I'm not going to hang out with them. So you need to create your own environment. It may have to come by way of 10 books or some books that you read, and embrace those books and begin to read and comb through the knowledge that goes with the book and become as the book, the writer. We become like our environment. So you be very careful who you allow in your circles. And that's all for today.